Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world, coming up in the next 30 minutes. World leaders continue to express solidarity with India after the Pahalgam terror attack. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Netherlands Prime Minister Schoof called PM Modi to condemn the barbaric attack. India's Home Minister Amit Shah directs all state chief ministers to identify Pakistan nationals and ensure their prompt return. Trump's envoy Witkoff meets Putin in Moscow. Trump calls it a key moment in diplomacy to end the war in Ukraine. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer called PM Modi to convey his condolences over the Pahalgam terror attack. In a post on X, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs said, and I quote, PM Keir Starmer of the UK called PM Narendra Modi and conveyed his sincere condolences on the innocent lives lost in the heinous terror attack on the Indian soil. He strongly condemned the barbaric terror attack and expressed that UK stands with the people of India in this hour of tragedy. Netherlands Prime Minister Schoof called PM Modi to express his condolences. In a post on X, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs said, and I quote, PM Schoof of the Netherlands called PM Narendra Modi and conveyed condolences on the tragic and inhuman cross-border terror attack in Pahalgam, India. He strongly condemned the cowardly act and rejected terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. PM Modi thanked the Prime Minister for his words of support and solidarity and conveyed that India looks forward to closely working with the Netherlands to strengthen the global fight against terrorism. In the wake of the horrific Pahalgam terror attack, global leaders have rallied behind India, condemning the act and expressing unwavering support for its fight against terrorism. From the US to Europe, Asia and the Middle East, messages of solidarity poured in. More in this report by DD India's Antara Sinha.
Following the horrific terrorist attack in Jammu Kashmir's Pahalgam, world leaders have expressed solidarity with India in calls to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Many nations have condemned the heinous attack. Conveying deep condolences in a telephonic conversation to the Indian Prime Minister, US President Donald Trump reaffirmed unwavering support for India's fight against terrorism. President Trump strongly condemned the terror attack and expressed full support to India to bring to justice the perpetrators of the attack. Trump said India and the United States stand together in the fight against terror. Australian PM Anthony Albanese also condemned the attack and shared heartfelt sympathies over the attack. He also extended all the support from Australia in the fight against terrorism. Nepal's KP Sharma Oli, Mauritius PM Dr. Naveen Ramgoolam and Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also offered condolences condemning terrorism in all forms. While Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu expressed outrage at the dastardly attacks over a telephone call with PM Modi, stating that Israel stands firmly with India, he expressed solidarity with the people of India and the families of the victims. PM Modi shared the barbaric nature of the cross-border terrorist attack and reiterated India's firm resolve to bring the perpetrators and their supporters to justice. French President Emmanuel Macron condemned the attack, emphasizing France's partnership in combating terror. Japan's PM Shigeru Ishiba and Jordan's King Abdullah II also denounced the violence and supported global cooperation against such threats. Ishiba said that terrorism cannot be justified. Both leaders emphasized that terrorism is a grave threat to humanity. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and US Vice President J.D. Vance also echoed similar sentiments. Italy's Meloni called Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterating full support for India in the fight against terrorism. PM Modi thanked her for the solidarity and affirmed that India and Italy would continue strengthening counter-terrorism cooperation at bilateral and international levels, while JD Vance expressed that the United States is ready to provide all assistance in the joint fight against terrorism. Leaders and diplomats from many other nations have condemned the Pahalgam terror attack. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi also strongly denounced the attack and expressed solidarity with India, calling for collective global efforts to eradicate terrorism. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy also condemned the attack, offering condolences and support for the victims and affirming solidarity with India, while Germany's Foreign Office extended heartfelt sympathies and reaffirmed its commitment to fighting terrorism alongside India. The UAE's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in an official statement, condemned the attack in Jammu and Kashmir, emphasizing its firm stance against violence and calling for international cooperation to address extremism. These conversations between world leaders and the Indian Prime Minister, along with global condemnation on official social media handles of leaders and many countries, underscore strong international backing for India and a shared commitment to counter terrorism. Antara Sinha for DD India.
Days after India took a series of diplomatic measures against Pakistan over the Pahalgam terror attack, India's Home Minister Amit Shah directed all chief ministers to identify Pakistani nationals residing in their states and take steps to ensure their prompt return after cancelling their visas. All chief secretaries of states and union territories have been directed by India's Home Secretary Govind Mohan to identify Pakistani nationals residing in their jurisdictions and ensure their expeditious return following visa cancellation. Pakistan stands exposed once again as the three terrorists behind the dastardly Pahalgam terror attack have been identified as Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists. Jammu and Kashmir police confirmed that one of the terrorists involved in the Pahalgam massacre is Adil Hussain Thokar, who is a resident of Anantnag, while the other two terrorists identified by the police are Ali Bhai alias Talha Bhai and Hashim Musa alias Suleiman, both referred to as Pak national LeT terrorists. Meanwhile, in a significant development following the recent terror attack in Pahalgam, authorities on Friday demolished the houses of two Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists in South Kashmir. According to official sources, the house of Asif Sheikh in Tral area of Pulwama and that of Adil Thokar in Bijbehara area of Anantnag were brought down through controlled blasts. Both individuals are alleged to have played a role in the Baisaran Pahalgam terror attack. The attack, which took place on Tuesday, claimed the lives of at least 26 people, comprising 25 tourists and a Pahalgam local. The demolition action comes as part of intensified efforts by security agencies to crack down on those aiding and abetting terrorism in the region. In a meeting with top army officials in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha asked Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi to take effective steps to bring those responsible for the Pahalgam terror attack to justice and to intensify efforts to crush terror infrastructure and ecosystem. He added that every perpetrator and supporter of Pahalgam terror attack must be hunted. The meeting also reviewed security mechanisms in place, various short-term, long-term measures and integration and coordination among various security agencies. Earlier, Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi was briefed by the 15 Corps Commander on the security situation and actions being taken by the formations against terrorists inside own territory and Pakistan Army attempts to violate the ceasefire along the line of control. The residence of Asif Ahmed Sheikh, identified as a Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist, was demolished through a controlled explosion in Mongama, Tral, late last night. Intelligence sources have linked Sheikh to the Pahalgam killings. According to his family, Sheikh has been missing from Tral for the past 3 years. We have DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo on the ground.
I'm here at Mongama Tral, and this is the house of Asif Sheikh, the man allegedly behind the Pahalgam attack. And yesterday in the night, his house was demolished through a controlled blast. This is the family of Asif Sheikh, but they are not ready to talk to us. sister says that she doesn't want to talk. So let's try with some other. Arabia, can we talk to you? When did this happen?
जी
ये कब हुआ ये?
कल को
कितने बजे?
10 बजे 10:30 बजे से शुरू हुआ।
कैसे हुआ ये?
मतलब सिक्योरिटी फोर्स जब आई यहाँ से तो पहले उन्होंने तलाशी की यहाँ इस घर की, तो इनके जो घर वाले हैं वो सारे बंद है।
अच्छा, ये बताइए कि आसिफ को आपने लास्ट टाइम कब देखा था?
बचपन में देखा है।
अच्छा
जी।
तो आसिफ का यहाँ आना जाना नहीं है?
नहीं नहीं।
बताया कि 3 साल से आपने उसको नहीं देखा है?
जी जी।
और जब आपने को ये पता चला कि पहलगाम में इस तरह का हादसा हुआ, पूछ के मारा कि आप हिंदू हो क्या, तो कैसा लगा आपको?
बहुत बुरा लगा, बहुत ज्यादा गिल्ट फील हो रहा।
मुसलमान थे, चाहे हिंदू थे, मुसलमान थे,
हमारे
लेकिन भाई थे, बहनें हमारी थी, हमें भी दर्द हुआ उस वक्त। नहीं, जिसने किया उसको पकड़ो, हमारे घर को क्यों ये खामखा डिस्ट्रॉय किया इन्होंने।
So there you hear they are still defending Asif Sheikh, but intelligence has specific inputs that he was behind the Pahalgam attack, and there you see his house was demolished through a controlled blast. We have been informed that it started at 10:30 in the night. These are the remains of the blast. His house has been demolished. There you see, we'll go inside and we'll show you some of the visuals from inside. I'm going inside the room. This is the kitchen of Asif Sheikh's house. Here you can see, this is his kitchen. It has been totally demolished. Quite rightly, what the government has decided to give a befitting reply to all those who are linked with Pahalgam killing. And there you see, this is another room. This door it's dark inside. This door has also been broken. This is the scene here. Whole house has been shattered. The family is quite tight-lipped because of obvious reasons, and we know why. They are still defending Asif Sheikh, though they tell that they haven't seen Asif for 3 long years. They are still defending, obviously for obvious reasons, but we know that Asif Sheikh was involved according to the intelligence inputs, and this is the punishment that his family had to suffer, and the intelligence agencies are still on the lookout of Asif Sheikh. But he is not the only one. Another house has also been demolished in Anantnag, and that there also the man behind the attack is involved. With cameraman Mohit Uike in Tral, this is Vishal Baristo for TT India.
As the nation bids farewell to those who lost their lives in the Pahalgam terror attack, survivors of the attack recollect the horrific ordeal. And Naksh Kalathia, son of deceased Shailash Kalathia, revealed that the terrorists recorded the killings on their body cams. Naksh's father, Shailesh Kalathia, a banker at SBI's Kandivali branch in Mumbai, was among the 26 victims. The boy, along with his sister Neeti and mother Sheetal, survived the massacre.
हम कश्मीर में पहलगाम में गए थे। हमने पहलगाम में 5 पॉइंट देखे थे। उसमें जो मिनी स्विट्जरलैंड है सबसे टॉप वाला था, उधर हम गए थे। तभी गन फायरिंग की आवाज़ आई थी, हमें लगा कुछ हुआ था। हमने पूछा भी वो रेस्टोरेंट वाले से कि क्या हुआ, उन्हें भी कुछ नहीं पता था। तो जब वो आतंकवादी ज़्यादा गोली मारे हैं तब सबको पता चला कि टेररिस्ट घुसा है, तो हम छुप गए। उन लोगों ने ढूंढ लिया, हमको तो वो 2 दिखे थे, और एक ने आके बोला मुसलमान अलग हो जाओ और हिंदू अलग हो जाओ, जेंट्स खाली। और बाद में हिंदू के सारे जेंट्स को गोली से मार दिया।
In a strong rebuke to the New York Times, the U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee has slammed the paper's coverage of the recent terrorist attack in Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. The attack was carried out by the Resistance Front, alias Pakistan-based terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba. Controversy erupted after the NYT headlined the incident without referring to it as a terrorist act, rather saying that the tourists were gunned down by militants. The U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee called out the language, saying this was a terrorist attack, plain and simple. The inaugural army-to-army staff talks between Indian Army and the Royal Saudi Land Forces were held in New Delhi. The discussions focused on the annual Defence Cooperation Plan, covering joint exercises Sada Tanseek, training, military education, domain expert exchanges and engagements in areas of mutual interest. Both sides also explored avenues of collaboration in operational logistics, battlefield management systems and niche technologies to enhance interoperability and capability development. Still to come in this edition of DD India Live. US envoy to meet Iranians for the third round of nuke talks. India sends medical assistance to Nepal for patients of thalassemia and sickle cell disease. Sardar Raja Iqbal Singh elected as Delhi Mayor. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live with me, Munnan Bhattacharya. US President Donald Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow on Friday at what Trump has described as a key moment in diplomacy to end the war in Ukraine. Witkoff has become Washington's main point of contact with Putin as Trump pushes for a peace deal, having already held 3 lengthy meetings with the Russian leader. Video released by the Kremlin showed Witkoff and Putin shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries before sitting down across from each other at a white oval table. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Friday claimed that the country is close to reaching a deal with the US to end the conflict in Ukraine. Lavrov said that Moscow is ready to do a deal on its conflict in Ukraine after Donald Trump urged Vladimir Putin to halt attacks in a rare rebuke following the deadliest strikes on Kyiv in months. Lavrov's remark comes after Russia launched a deadly barrage of attacks in Ukraine's capital city Kyiv that killed 12 people.
Well, the President of the United States believes, and I think rightly so, that we are moving in the right direction. The statement by the President mentions a deal, and we are ready to reach a deal, but there are still some specific points, elements of this deal which need to be fine-tuned.
US President Donald Trump said he is not happy after Russia launched attacks on Kyiv in 9 months, telling President Vladimir Putin to stop as he attempts to push Ukraine to agree on a ceasefire proposal. The Ukrainian capital came under one of its heaviest attacks this year, with Russia launching drones and missiles overnight, killing at least 12 people in the Ukrainian capital Kyiv. Trump's direct appeal to Putin came after Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky urged the country's allies to put more pressure on Russia to put an end to the war. Trump told reporters at the White House that his administration was applying a lot of pressure on Russia and reiterated his displeasure with the attack. The president added later that Washington was also pressuring Kyiv.
Putting a lot of pressure on Russia, and Russia knows that, and some people that are close to it know, or he wouldn't be talking right now. The Prime Minister understands that better than anybody. He wouldn't be talking right now. He's talking, and we're putting a lot of pressure. I think he wants to make a deal. We're going to find out very soon, but it takes 2 to tango, and you have to have Ukraine want to make a deal too, and they're being hit very hard, and I do believe they want to make a deal.
The Ukrainian delegation at this week's talks in London with allies reaffirmed the principles on which the peace talks are based, including that Ukraine will never recognize any part of its territory as Russian, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry spokesman said on Friday. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Thursday that the talks between Ukrainian and Western officials in London on Wednesday had not been easy, but were constructive. Ukraine has repeatedly stated its aspiration to join NATO, noting that membership in the alliance would be a real guarantee against any aggressive actions on the part of Russia in the future. US President Donald Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff will meet Iranian officials for the third straight week as the adversaries seek a nuclear deal. Witkoff last met Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi in Rome on Saturday, where they reported progress and called for talks among technical teams. The US State Department announced that Witkoff would himself attend the technical talks to take place on Saturday in Oman, where he held his first meeting with Araghchi on April 12. US Policy Chief Michael Anton will lead technical work on the US side. President Donald Trump signed an executive order to expand US deep-sea mining for rare earth minerals in domestic and international waters on Thursday, despite warnings by environmental groups. Under the order, the Secretary of Commerce has 60 days to expedite the process for reviewing and issuing seabed mineral exploration licenses and commercial recovery permits in areas beyond national jurisdiction. White House aides said the initiative would help the U.S. extract over 1 billion metric tons of deep-sea nodules and inject hundreds of billions of dollars into the economy. The accelerated deep-sea mining policy aims to counter China's expanding control over seabed minerals by reinforcing ties with allies and industry. However, the move undermines a decade-long global effort to establish regulations for the emerging deep-sea industry. Reaffirming India's commitment to the Neighbourhood First policy, India sends assistance consisting of medicines and vaccines for patients of thalassemia and sickle cell disease worth $2 million, responding to a request from Nepal. The first tranche of 17,030 vials of vaccines for immunization and of patients, in fact, with thalassemia were handed over to Nepal. The Bharatiya Janata Party has regained control of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi as Sardar Raja Iqbal Singh from the party was elected as the new mayor of Delhi. As per reports, he secured 133 votes out of a total of 142 votes. The Aam Aadmi Party did not participate in the mayoral election. The Create in India challenge is heating up as participants across various contests gear up for the much anticipated Waves Summit. Celebrating innovation, creativity and collaboration in music production and live performance, Resonate, the EDM challenge, has now announced its top 10 finalists.
Resonate, the EDM challenge, organized by the Indian music industry in collaboration with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, aims to reinforce India's position as a global hub for electronic music, fusion sounds and DJing talent. The preliminary round was judged by industry professionals from the Law Stories Academy, India's leading music production and DJ training institute.
This is a really great initiative by IMI, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, the Wave Summit. I think it's going to open a lot of doors for electronic music as a genre in India. Now with government being involved pushing this genre, I think there will be a lot more opportunities, and in terms of music production also for electronic music producers, and in terms of concerts also, now how the market is growing in India, it's going to be like great, and we hope that we get to see more and more of electronic music artists coming to India now.
The challenge was open to artists, composers, musicians and performers from around the world with prior experience in creating and producing EDM, and is seen as a launch pad for talent. Prayag Mehta notes that the Wave Summit will provide a commercial and creative platform for winners and EDM artists to shine and grow. The top 10 shortlisted participants include Shrikant Vemula and Mayank Vidhani from Mumbai, Kshitij Khodwe from Pune, Aditya Upadhyay from Kumarikata, Assam and Devansh Rastogi from New Delhi. These finalists represent a dynamic spectrum of India's electronic music landscape, from atmospheric ambient styles to high-octane dance tracks. They will now have the opportunity to captivate audiences at the Waves Summit, set to take place this May. Shama Mishra for DD India.
On to sports news now. Chennai Super Kings will face Sunrisers Hyderabad in the 43rd match of the Indian Premier League on Friday. Both the underperforming sides need a victory desperately to keep their drowning playoff hopes alive. Five-time champions Chennai have now lost 6 of their 8 league stage fixtures. They are placed bottom of the pile and must win all of their remaining games to have a chance. Meanwhile, Hyderabad are also in no better position, sitting at the second last place with 2 wins in 8 matches. Hyderabad's all-or-nothing approach may have won their many fans last time around, but their lack of success this season has also drawn criticism. That's all in this edition of DD India Live, but do share your thoughts with us on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. This is Munmun Bhattacharya from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.